Finds Barrett. Get a shot up. This is for the win. Oh, it's good. It's down to 4. Bradley with the steal. Avery Bradley goes up and throws it down. Here's the turnover. Pierce comes on it. Pierce down the lane. Looking for the count it and one. A 16-0 run.
There's Allen for 3. Yes. Fire the jumper. Yes. With 4/10 of a second left.
Gets it in. Tatum takes it. Makes it.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Justin Lowe. Alongside with me, I have my co-host Rob, and we're getting you guys set for the rematch. Celtics and Knicks Game 2 of this mini-series. Welcome along, everybody. I'm so excited to get into this one. First, we'll jump into the injury report for the New York Knicks. Guys like Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose, Nerlens Noel still remain on the injury report, and Evan Fournier, a guy who just dropped 41 on the Boston Celtics to help complete their 25-point comeback. As for the Boston Celtics, only a couple guys remain on their injury report. Peyton Pritchard remains out with health and safety protocols, and Broderick Thomas also remains out with some back pains. Let's take a look at our starting lineups tonight for the Boston Celtics. They're keeping it normal, going with Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown in the backcourt, Tatum, Horford, and Robert Williams III in the front court, as well as for the New York Knicks. Well, they have to shake things up a little bit here, shake it up with some injuries on their injury report. Alec Burks, Emmanuel quickly going to get the start for Evan Fournier tonight. RJ Barrett, the man of New York, the mayor of New York after just the other night, and Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson making out the front court. Rob, let's talk about your 3 keys to the game for the Celtics and Knicks rematch.
Yeah, well, my 3 keys to the game here are 3 ones that I think we've been hammering on all year here. To start things off, first thing is got to play a full 48 minutes of basketball. Boston Celtics are leading the league in most blown leads this season. That's completely unacceptable. The Celtics have to maintain their lead. Also, Knicks team, they're a little banged up. They got some guys that aren't normally in their rotation. They're in the rotation tonight. You got to get out and run. Some of these guys are going to be playing aren't really used to seeing big minutes, aren't used to seeing a lot of time. So my second key to the game is for the Celtics to get out and run. Also, the Knicks controlled the glass in the second half. Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle really did their thing down low in the paint. So my last and third key to the game is the Celtics have to control the glass here tonight against the Knicks.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's jersey matchup presented by Jersey. For us, go use code RISING at checkout for 10% off a $40 jersey. A couple of these jerseys behind me are actually from Jerseys for us. Super good quality, really comfortable, and I suggest you guys go get one. A lot of sales during the holidays using my code, so that was really appreciated. But for the Celtics, they're keeping it classic, going with their classic white edition uniform. And the New York Knicks, they're also keeping it classic, going with their iconic blue edition uniforms. Rob, what can we see here tonight from the Celtics? What should we see from the Celtics? This season keeps just when we think, okay, it can't get any worse than this, it gets worse than this.
Yeah. Well,
how can the Celtics avoid that tonight?
It's just about coming in with a complete 48-minute game plan. The Celtics players have to execute down the stretch. And I also think Ime Udoka has to come out here with a strong fourth quarter game plan. I think that that's going to be really important here against the Knicks. Obviously, both teams struggling. Celtics now out of the playoffs with a chance to kind of get their spot back there at the 10 seed in the play-in game. But right now I'm looking at the Boston Celtics. They have to play a complete 48 minutes and really try to get some fluid offense going because it's been a rocky past 40 games.
It really has. And Celtics, I don't wish injury upon any players whatsoever, whether you like him or hate him, but Celtics catching a little bit of a break here. Evan Fournier, who's been averaging over 35 points a game against the Celtics thus far this season. This will be the Celtics and Knicks final matchup. I can't believe we've played all 4 games and it's not even the second week of January yet. That's pretty insane. But so Celtics catch a little bit of a break there. Also, no Kemba. We mentioned no Fournier, no Kemba, no Nerlens Noel, no Derrick Rose for a while. Celtics really need to take advantage of this kind of bumped up New York Knicks team where I know they still have Julius Randle. Obviously, RJ Barrett hit that huge shot, and Mitchell Robinson and Taj Gibson hold down the front court very well for those guys. But the Celtics, who are fully healthy, minus a G League player and a rotational player, the Celtics, other than that, are fully healthy, and they need to take advantage of that tonight. I mean, they absolutely, besides obviously that fourth quarter, ran the New York Knicks out of the gym in MSG. They need to do the same thing here. And as you said before, you need to play a 48-minute game of basketball. We saw Josh Richardson the other night against the Phoenix Suns push off a interview with Abby Chin saying, look, Abby, I appreciate your question, but ask me this after the game. Ask me this after we play the final 24 minutes. So the Celtics are going to need to go out there and play a full 48-minute basketball, whether they start up 30 or whether it's tied at the half.
Yeah, and right now Celtics all odds are stacked against them. Fans are pissed off. The players, I imagine, are pissed off. You're hearing the big talking heads. I heard Jalen Rose was talking about the Boston Celtics at I believe their pregame show ESPN before the Bucks Nets game. So right now the Boston Celtics are in the headlines for the wrong reasons. So we're halfway through the season right now. We're sitting at 40 games, right about to hit the official halfway mark, and we really haven't gotten a lot of positives out of the Boston Celtics through the first 40 games, 39. So, I'm not officially calling this season quits. I think this is the test, though, is how are they going to respond now? Right now, the Celtics are currently sitting at their lowest of lows. You have said it, just when you think it couldn't get any lower, it has. So, Celtics right now have no expectations. They're playing with house money. And, I think this is a good opportunity for go out there and just get a win. Like, it might not mean anything, a matter of fact, as we're approaching tip here, but just go out and get a win because the Celtics need one right now.
I just want to clear this up. I know we're on stream. I know we're live. Where are you right now? Because our streams might not match up, and that might not be great.
The Knicks, their starting lineup is shown.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we're good.
I also want to mention that the other night, my key matchup was Julius Randle and Jason Tatum. Both of those guys actually had a great game. This is NBC Sports Boston key matchup too. But tonight, my key matchup is actually going to be RJ Barrett and Jaylen Brown. Two guys who had decent games at different moments. Like, they've had very spotty games. Jaylen Brown off to a quick start. RJ Barrett had a terrible first half. Then the roles kind of reversed. RJ Barrett came alive in the second half. We really didn't see a lot of Jaylen Brown down the stretch whatsoever. I mean, although Jason Tatum had a phenomenal night, in my opinion, one of his best games all season. But that's my key matchup tonight. It's going to be Barrett and Brown.
And you see some empty seats here in the Garden tonight. You can imagine it's not too hot of a ticket. So if you're looking to get some Celtics tickets, now's the time as we're getting to tip off right here.
Tip is up, Celtics gain control, and we're underway. I'm Justin Lowe. Alongside with me is Rob. If you guys are just joining us, we have you live play-by-play coverage all game long. We'll kick it over to Seamus on the Instagram for Celtics Halftime Live, and then come right back here on the YouTube channel for the second half, as well as post-game live with Rob, Ian, and Seamus. Kick it off. Celtics starting up 2-0.
That was a good take by Tatum. I like the aggressive drive. Celtics coming out, they're moving with a purpose. I think that's really important. Sometimes Celtics offense gets stagnant. That was a travel.
Yeah, that was a travel. Mitchell Robinson actually did get away with the travel on the baseline and got the easy dunk for 2. Tatum gets a high screen from Horford, dishes it back to Horford, takes a mid-range shot, he misses, rebound into the hands of Mitchell Robinson. We saw that play a lot in Horford's first stint with the Celtics, that little pick and pop, as Burks gets freed up by a screen and misses a top of the key 3, and another offensive rebound by Robinson. I say another because Knicks were all over the offensive rebound in game 1.
Yeah.
And that creates yet another second chance opportunity for Emmanuel Quickley, who's starting in place of Evan Fournier. And yeah, you don't get Evan Fournier, but you can't let him get hot either.
No, not at all. And that was my key to the game there. The Boston Celtics coming out here and not getting rebounds, giving the Knicks second chance opportunities, and that's absolutely killer in a game like this.
Ball finds its way back to Tatum after a few passes around the perimeter. Tatum spots up and nails the mid-range jump shot, and a quick 4 points for Jason Tatum, all 4 of Boston's points.
Yeah, and something I'd love to see here tonight, Justin, is for both Tatum and Brown just to have monster nights. I mean, these two guys have caught so much criticism, from me included. I've really been going at them. I'd love to see these two guys completely engaged, just Brown's shoving Barrett out of bounds. I'd love to see these two guys both have a big night like we've seen them, do countless times.
Quickly to Randall. Randall 6 on the shot clock goes at Horford, rejected by Time Lord. And out comes Jaylen Brown with it. We saw a lot of, I believe he finished with 7 blocks on Thursday night. Robert Williams did.
Yeah, Rob Will's been great for the Celtics here.
Tatum on the drive. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Robert Williams has been big for the Celtics on both sides of the ball. I mean, recently you saw him get a little bit more involved on the playmaking side of things, and I think that's been huge.
Quickly, back to Barrett. Barrett takes a 3 over Tatum. It fell in game 1. It misses there, but a long rebound to Barrett. Tatum kind of gave up on that play, it seemed. Yeah, and it finds a wide open Alec Burks for 3.
And that goes back, that's probably the third possession here. Boston Celtics are not rebounding. That's really going to hurt them if they keep this up.
Knicks 2 for 4, 50% to start off from 3-point range. Horford, skip pass over to Tatum. Tatum, guarded by Barrett, spins his way to the basket. Turnaround on the baseline, missed off the glass. Rebound quickly in transition is Randall. Randall kicks it, corner Burks to Robinson, handoff quickly. Randall spots up, open 3 on the wing, missed, rebound by Rob Williams, and the Celtics catch a break there. Smart to Horford. Celtics trying to go quick as well. Horford to Brown on the drive. Brown backs his way in, puts up the little floater for 2.
And I love this offensive attack by the Celtics. The first couple of minutes here of the first quarter. I mean, they're going to Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum within the very fluid offense. You need to see that for the Boston Celtics. Get those 2 guys going, and it's going to be a long game for the defense.
And like you said, it's good to see the Celtics attack because although they were hitting their 3-point shots, as Rob Williams taps it off Burks and out of bounds, Williams continuing to have active hands on the defensive end, as he always does. But as I was saying, it's good to see the Celtics attack. And so far, I know it's only 3 minutes into the game, but thus far it's worked very well for the Celtics. Where in game 1, we saw them shoot a lot of 3-point shots. So,
yeah, and for the amount of 3-point shots they take, they're actually not very good of it in the bottom half of the league at field goal 3-point percentage. As Smart gets the foul, I believe. So look at that. It's another great drive by Smart. I want to see that all game long by the Boston Celtics. They have not been successful from beyond the arc, and I think that if they can get their head down, get to the free throw line, get to the basket, maybe get Robinson in foul trouble, your success is going to be much higher. And look at this. So Marcus Smart, 14 points on 4 for 12 shooting against the Knicks last matchup. However, 10 of those 12 attempts came from beyond the arc. So, you want to see those guys drive.
And believe it or not, for the type of season Marcus Smart has been having, that's an unusual stat line, right? Like, if we look at Marcus Smart's career, that's not unusual at all, 10 3-point attempts. But where Smart has kind of transitioned into this playmaker where he doesn't shoot 10 threes a game, that's really unlike him to shoot 10 threes. But it was good to see a couple of them fall. I believe he had 3 in that fourth quarter, which came up big for the Celtics.
Yeah, he knocked down some big shots for the season, for sure. And look at that defense by Smart.
I love it.
All over it.
All over quickly.
They're going to get him with the foul? Oh,
nope,
shot
jump
clock.
Ball. It is. One has a shot clock. The other has a jump ball.
They're going to talk.
Did the other have a foul? Did they all 3 of them have different calls?
So it's going to be Celtics ball. So it's shot clock violation there on the Knicks.
And the Celtics forced a few shot clock violations on the Knicks in game 1. So it's good to see the Celtics active defensively so far tonight. Here's Smart, gets it into the hands of Tatum, a high screen by Rob Williams. Tatum spots up, pull up 3, missed, offensive rebound to Brown, kicks it Smart, kicks it Horford, swings it to Tatum, screen Horford drive, lays it down low. I believe he tried to lay it down low for Rob Williams, but instead it's tapped out of bounds. It's going to stay Celtics ball, 6 on the shot clock.
I like the dump down pass on the screen and roll by Tatum down to Horford. He got a good look at it to start things off and stepped in. That might have been off on Horford, actually.
Celtics catch a break.
Yeah, big time. I like the look because Horford's going to get open 3.
Horford takes it. Front rims, the 3 he had to shoot that. I mean, he was open, but shot clock was winding down. Here's Barrett. Barrett drives on Brown, up to Randall. If that wasn't a lousy pass, Randall would have had a great look at an open 3. Instead, Randall uses his size to his advantage, kicks it out quickly. 3, top of the key is good. Tatum nearly intercepted that
You
pass.
cannot let Emmanuel quickly get hot, or else you're going to have a long, long night. You got to D up on Emmanuel quickly.
Smart. Trying to get it to Brown. Instead, he's harassed by Quickly and is fouled. And Emmanuel Quickly is known for his defense. He's a very streaky shooter. He can get hot, but he's known for his defense. So like you said, for a guy like Quickly to get hot like that, you don't want to see that if you're the Celtics. And there's a timeout taken. And let's try to update the score. I just want to warn you guys, we're not really in charge of this. Yeah. 11-8. So Celtics only trail by 3. They're giving up open 3-point shots. I think something, though, that we're really stressing that we like thus far is the Celtics' aggressiveness, getting to the basket, not settling for jump shots, and just putting their head down and getting to the basket, whether that draws them a foul, gets them a bucket, or even draws a defender in so they can kick out for a shot. I like what I see so far in the offensive end for the Celtics. Defense, not so much, which is kind of ironic because of how the season has gone so far for the Celtics. We've been gloating more about their defense than their offense.
Yeah, well, I like the threes that they're getting. They're 0 for 3. Horford got one on top of the key, Smart, I believe, right around the corner, and Tatum stepped into it. They're 0 for 3. However, I think that tells you something with this team's ability to shoot. That's a conversation for a different day. But, right now, I like the shots they're getting. I think their offense is coming at a good pace. Defensively, I think got to be a little bit more active. They look a little tired, a little disengaged on the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully this timeout will kind of let them regroup and refocus up for a better first or second half of the first quarter.
This should be fun. Celtics and Knicks. This is the final game, so the Celtics absolutely need to win this game because if it comes down to tiebreakers and all that, you can at least tie the series here. Celtics are down 2-1. This is the final game of 4. You've got to tie it. I think the Celtics have the Knicks number. I really do. You lost to them in double overtime. Think of it. You were, who is it? Brown. Schroeder missed the layup and Brown missed the dunk.
Yeah.
Right. You lose in double overtime. Okay. Right. Then you play the Knicks and you beat them in Boston. Then you play them again. You take a nearly 30-point lead and lose to them on the buzzer. Right. Okay. Right. You had that game in many ways. You had that game. You blew it. And then so far tonight, obviously, it's too early to tell how this game is going to go. Celtics trail by 3. But if it were to come down to a play-in game against the Knicks, I wouldn't count the Celtics out against this matchup at all. But then again, with how inconsistent the Celtics have been, can we really talk like that?
Yeah.
Look at this. Former Celtics scoring 40 or more points against the Celtics. Evan Fournier in 2022. It looks like Kyrie Irving in 2021. And AC Earl and Paul Westphal in 78.
Yeah. Well,
here we go.
Celtics have been very inconsistent, and I think these 2 losses against the Knicks the Celtics have here this season is a perfect example of their inability to. Wow, Tatum, what a shot!
Huge 3.
Their inability to close games out. So hopefully this game against the Knicks will be a little bit different. If they do have a lead, they can keep it. If they don't, and it's close in the fourth, they can execute down the stretch and do what it takes to close out the win.
Quickly to Randall. Randall gets Horford off his feet with a fake 3, picked off by Smart, gets it to Horford, up the floor to Brown. Brown to the basket for 2 off the glass.
Great
and the
transition.
Celtics own a 2-point lead and a quick 5-0 run off the timeout. Here's Barrett. Loses his dribble in the post with Rob Williams. He's smart enough to kick it back out. Randall wants to back down Smart, puts a shot up, and he got it. Tough shot. Horford came there to help, too. A little double team action on the high post. Randall hit it.
Yeah, it's a tough shot on Smart. Smart's a phenomenal defender. You don't see a lot of guys hit that over him often. Wild pass.
Smart. Oh, wild pass. Picked off by Randall. Randall to quickly to the basket. Contested by Tatum instead. Kicks it out. Open 3. Barrett is good. RJ Barrett from the corner. A wide open look, and he hit it. And gives New York a 6-point lead as Josh Richardson looks to check in next whistle. Smart gets a screen from Rob Williams, drives, kicks it out. Tatum back to Brown. Brown fakes top of the key, drives it to the basket, and is picked off. Oh, Rob Williams to save. Tatum saves it at the logo. 5-4 on the shot clock. Tatum's going to hoist one. Step back on Randall. missed, and that did not hit the rim, and it's a 24-second violation from the Celtics.
Tatum was looking for the call there. I would have liked to see him maybe attack the hoop a little bit stronger. So the step back, however, shot clock's winding down. Step back on the previous play. Wow.
I know Udoka hasn't gotten the best rep yet, and he made some questionable, controversial comments after that New York game. But something I noticed was Celtics execution off timeouts has been fairly well. And it kind of reminds me of RJ Barrett hits another open three. Celtics continue to leave shooters open and pay for it early here. That reminds me, like Brad Stevens was so actually one of the better coaches in the league on after timeout play conversions. And I just saw a few plays against the Knicks, and we just saw a 5-0 run for the Celtics off a timeout. I think that's really important to see, and I think that's important for Udoka's development is converting off those timeout plays. Yeah. So we see Barrett getting freed up once again. I don't know if the Celtics are getting caught off ball screens or if they're just defensive mismatches or
it looks like the Celtics are doubling when Randall touches the ball. It looks like there's a double team coming over, leading to a rotational switching that hasn't seemed to work out too hot to start this game off.
So Schroeder and Richardson in, Grant Williams as well. Horford, it looks like Smart and Tatum will take a seat. Brown crossover move on Randall. 5 on the shot clock, puts his body into Randall and gets fouled. Then he'll get to the line for 2. I like that aggressiveness by Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, for sure. Getting the body into Randall. Randall now playing with a foul. So, defensively, when you're a star player, you're going to get frustrated when the whistle gets blown the other way. So good take by Brown there.
And how incredible was Julius Randle down the stretch, ultimately having a really tough game. First half was really non-existent for the New York Knicks, as we see Primo as well as it looks, who is that? Taj Gibson as well checks into the game for the Knicks. Burks takes a seat. I really liked it. I really did enjoy. Obviously, I didn't enjoy watching the Celtics fall apart, but it was really cool to see Randle really use his body to perfection as Brown spots up an open 3 off an offensive rebound miss. That was, I thought Randle just bullied his way to the basket and got his way, and that was really something to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Celtics, I feel like played a solid 3 quarters against Randle defensively, but they kind of let him get his way in the fourth. It's kind of been the story of the Celtics season is 3 great quarters of basketball, and the fourth comes and their game plan kind of, sizzles out, and they kind of play a brand of basketball that's not Celtics type of basketball.
Schroeder on the drive to Rob Williams. Rob Williams, a lefty floater, and he missed.
They're getting the shots that they want, I think. They're just not going in. Hopefully, down the stretch, they'll start to fall.
As quickly spots up, and Brown goes under the screen, quickly frees up and drains a 3, and I believe that's his 9th point of the game. Yeah, 9 points, 3 of 3 from the field, doing exactly what Evan Fournier would do to the Celtics.
And if you're going to continue to go under those screens, the Knicks are going to take those threes you are giving them. Going under the screen shows me that Boston Celtics are playing some lazy type of defense right here.
Oh, wow. Interesting no call there.
Again,
Barrett open corner 3, missed, rebound Brown, and the Celtics yet again catch another break, but they're down 8 here, and they only have 14 points, so you really can't keep testing these Knicks, because as much as we dislike the New York Knicks, face reality, people. The Knicks have some good players on this ball team. Very underrated. Some very underrated ball players. Grant, 3 in the corner is good. Leave it to Grant Williams to save the day. 22-17.
Yeah, that's a big shot by Grant. I like how he stayed ready. He spaced the floor properly, allowed Jaylen Brown to draw the defensive eyes off of it. Grant answered the call when he was called upon.
Randall trying to answer back. He missed, nearly got his own offensive rebound. Ball tapped around into the hands of Brown, who hands it off to Richardson, and we're under 2 minutes here left to go in this first quarter. Richardson gets a screen from Williams and is fouled. Something I want to point out about Grant Williams is that play right there as we get a timeout. Celtics trail by 5, 22-17. Grant Williams this season has helped the Celtics out tremendously. I really wish the Celtics started winning games, because the way that Grant Williams is helping this team is actually he's a really successful, one of the better shooter percentage-wise in the league, has the best three-point percentage in the corner in the league, and something that he's really wanted to do was work on getting his weight down, and work on his jump shot. We didn't see him in the summer league, so we didn't know what he looked like. We didn't know what he was doing. All we heard was he declined his option to go to summer league. We were like, no offense, Grant, but you were the one player that really needed it out of in Neesmith and Pritchard were only rookies, and we thought Grant needed it more. Did Grant shut our mouths so far? I know we're only 40 games in. I know we're not even halfway into the season, but do you think Grant Williams has kind of backed up his talk this summer?
I totally do. And I was one of those guys that was, not big on Grant Williams. I mean, if you guys remember listening to me on the offseason, all I kind of was talking about was, how Grant really is inconsistent. He goes out there and what is he giving us? He's been an inconsistent defender. Shooting's been poor. He's slow offensively. And I do think that he took some big steps forward. I think he's been one of the only guys that consistently comes out and puts in the effort, puts in the work. His shot has been knocked down and very consistent. I think his spacing has been good. I think his defense has been very solid. And also, I think Grant has done a good job at cutting and, attacking the hoop when necessary and when the right time to do it. I do think Grant Williams, surprisingly, I'm not going to lie, I was surprised on how well Grant Williams came out this season, and he's looked really good.
And do you think he could be in the run for most improved player
of the season? Not at all. For the Celtics, if we're talking Celtics individual,
do you
award,
think? I mean, that's been a legitimate question asked by some people. Do you think Grant Williams could be in the run by the end of the year? By the end of the year, say continue. If anything gets better, I mean, with injuries, I don't know how trades are going to go down or waivings.
I think if the Celtics move Horford. Which is a good chance. If the Celtics continue this play, I think there's a good chance Horford's on the move. Probably a salary dump, I'd say, to try to get that contract off the books. If that's the case, I think you maybe could see Grant make a little case for being in the running for most improved.
Yeah.
However, with guys on how like Tyler Hero has been playing, I think it's really tough to say. Or even Tyrese Maxey from Philly, I think it's tough to say Grant's gonna edge those guys out. However, he's looked a lot better than he did last year.
I think what also could factor into Grant Williams potentially being in the run for most improved player is his playing time. Is he starting? Is he getting as many minutes on the bench as he would maybe if he was starting? I think also, like you said, it could all depend on whether or not the Celtics move Al Horford or not, or keep him in the rotation. And that was also a good point as we see Richardson knock down his first free throw, as well as Enes Freedom checking in. Now, is Enes Freedom dealt at the deadline? Or do you think he stays and he might go back to Portland again? Because that might be a possibility too.
A trend. Yeah. So I think the thing with Freedom is that his contract is extremely movable, but at the same time, it's also he's on a 1-year deal. So is he in the plans for next year? Do we want Cantor or Freedom to be our backup center next year? Personally, I would say no. I do think he's dealt at the deadline. I think that we could get a pick for him, probably a second-round pick, and maybe a decent young guard
maybe
that
clear his salary, even though it's not that much. Yeah.
But I don't see Freedom being in the plans for next year. I love him. I think he's a great personality, definitely a locker room guy. I'd be happy to see him stick around. However, our good friend Seamus over at for the post-game shows says how his defensive inability and lack of movement has really been hard to get him consistently in the lineup.
I totally agree. And I think if you're a team that needs rebounds, obviously I do think Freedom is somebody you might want to keep on the bench because he is a rebound generator. But like you said, his inability to defend and really kind of defend off screens, really like big time. He has a really tough time in those pick and roll situations. And that could factor in. We also thought the Celtics' identity in this to start the season was their defense. That might be why we didn't see Enes Freedom in the rotation.
Yeah.
But
I think there's a lot of moves to be made at the deadline. I think there's a lot of things that could happen that won't happen. I think there's a lot of things that we don't think will happen that actually might happen. So, right now, if I'm the Boston Celtics, looking forward, just try to edge some games out here. Like I said, the expectations at the lowest it's been for the Boston Celtics in, I'd say, 10 years. You're playing with longer than 10 years, maybe. Right around since 2014. As Barrett open three is good. God, the Celtics are leaving shooters open. But if I'm the Celtics, just go out there, try to put together some wins, get on a win streak, try to, go towards the All-Star break on a positive note, and I think that's really important.
So the Knicks up 5, under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Knicks have 7 3-point shots, but the Celtics are, fortunately for them, they're only down by 5, which is pretty good considering you're giving up 7 threes in a quarter. Turnaround shot for Richardson is missed, and I believe a 24-second violation.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that possession right there. Richardson went a little ISO, and don't get me wrong, I love Richardson. I think he's a guy that, honestly, the Celtics should keep around. I think he complements the Jays really well. Personally speaking, I'd actually start him instead of Horford. But, Richardson, I think a bad offensive possession there for the Celtics, allowing the Knicks to try to go up by 7 or 8 here.
Randall drives, kicks to quickly, runner in the lane, missed, rebound by Grant Williams. And into the hands of Tatum for the final 15 seconds of this first quarter where the Celtics trail by 5. They look to cut it down to just one possession here. Tatum wants ISO. Tatum, open 3, Grant, takes it, missed. And that's how we end the first quarter. The Celtics hanging around to the Knicks, but leaving too many shooters, that's not going to help you win this game. They're down 5, 26-21. You can't leave shooters open no matter what team you play. I mean, eventually they're going to knock them down. Just wish that, unless you're the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something you want to talk about, moves to be made. I think the Celtics could use a shooter. I don't know where you would go for a shooter. I know the Rockets may be shipping Eric Gordon away. However, that's a big contract.
His contract is ridiculous, though. Yeah.
But I think he's making right around $19 million. Obviously, the Heat probably would not move Duncan Robinson by any means. I think that's a move the Celtics need to make. They have their corner guy in Grant. I like Grant staying in the corner offensively and cutting from there. But I do think that's something that Udoka has failed to do is implement a shooter. When you have a guy like Nesmith on the bench who really just kind of sits there, I would have loved to see Nesmith get some of Langford's minutes. And I love Langford. I do. I think Langford's a guy that I would not move unless the price is right. But at the same time, there's some games here where the Celtics' just inability to make threes, and your two best shooters, I'd say, on the bench are Pritchard and Nesmith, and those two guys haven't seen a lot of minutes.
Let me ask you this. I know we don't pay too much attention out west. How much stock are you buying into the Memphis Grizzlies? 27-14, third in the Eastern Conference. How much you buying into that? Fourth in the Western Conference, not Eastern Conference.
I love Memphis. Not this season per se, but I love the future that Memphis has built. Jaren Jackson Jr. is not a guy that a lot of people talk about, but he's a guy that you could see be an all-star in the next couple, 2-3 years. They got their guy in John Morant, who I think is a future league MVP. I think that if he can stay healthy, he is, the next Derrick Rose, the next, one of those high-flying of guards. I love Memphis. As to this season, like I said, they're a team that's probably playing with house money, kind of like Boston, except they're playing successfully with house money. So I think Memphis can make some noise. You could maybe see them sneak into the second round, or take a team like, I don't know who their matchup would be. The 5 seed I want to say is Dallas.
Yeah, it'd be Dallas.
They could take a team to like Dallas to 7 games, I think, for sure.
Here we go. We're back here for second quarter of action. The Celtics trail by 5 to the New York Knicks, 26-21. Knicks starting off with possession here. Screen by Gibson. Floater by Burks is good. Alec Burks, who is another one of those underrated guys you don't really hear about, but it comes up big for the Knicks at times. Tatum gets a screen from Freedom, gives it to Schroeder, cross-court pass, fakes the handoff to Richardson, then passes it to Richardson to Tatum. Tatum another screen from Freedom, loses possession of the dribble, up ahead, Grimes gets the steal. Wow. Sorry if I butcher the names, by the way, and he hits a 3 on top of the steal, and a quick 5-0 run to start this quarter for the New York Knicks. Puts them up 10 here, 31-21, their first double-digit lead of the game. Similar start to the first game, but opposite roles. Celtics had a quick start, a double-digit lead, and this time it's the Knicks. I like that cut from Schroeder. I love the way Schroeder turns on the Jets and just gets to the basket. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a crazy fan of his jump shot, but when he could get to the basket like that, he really helps the Celtics out.
Yeah, I think Schroeder's been a guy that has had his ups and downs. I think he's been his best when there's injuries, and that's kind of what his job, entering the year we expected is to be. Richardson's not happy with that call at all. But I think Schroeder's been good. I do sadly think he's gone due to the fact he's on a 1-year deal and he's going to want a lot of money. But it's a shame because I do like Dennis Schroeder and what he brings off the bench for the Celtics.
Now, is Schroeder one of those on a prove me contract? Obviously,
totally.
$5.9 million. You're not. Yeah. I feel like he's worth well more than that.
So I think Dennis is a guy that should be making right around 15 a year, 14, 15. I think that in the right situation, on the right team, he's probably. I'd say he's one of the best 6-man you can find in the league. I think it's like him, Tyler Hero. Those are the 1 and 2. If you got those two coming off your bench, you're going to be in a good situation. I don't know how accurate the $81 million offer from the
84
million offer from the Lakers. I don't know how accurate that is. Schroeder claims he never saw that on his table. It was never put in front of him. But totally, I think Schroeder is 100% trying to play for a contract, and it's a shame the Celtics aren't winning games because if they are, he'd be making a good case or a big deal.
Inbounds to Quickly gets freed up, takes the 3, misses. Celtics catch a huge break because that was another wide open look for Quickly. Tatum the rebound.
They went under that again. Bad pass by Tatum there.
Picked off by Burks. Burks running. Richardson behind the blocks it off the backboard. Knicks wants a foul. Richardson to Schroeder, nearly picked off. Schroeder. And the Knicks want to travel as well. Schroeder he grabs his back saying, "You hurt me." Schroeder gets a screen for Freedom. Drives on Gibson, puts it up. Oh, huge rebound. Tatum swings it to Richardson. Richardson 3 is fouled.
This guy's getting a little chippy here. Richardson's really, you can tell he's engaged. He's aggressive right now. You see this replay. Great block there by Richardson.
Phenomenal block.
Great no call too. I'll say I think they missed one on the bump, but I love the no call. It was a very clean block and great play by Richardson.
Freedom hands it off to Richardson. You take it. Richardson 10 points, 3 rebounds, 85% shooting from the free throw line off the bench for the Celtics. Somebody who I think Brad Stevens already had confidence in, hence a quick a quick extension before the season had even started.
Yeah, I
think he fits really well in with this team. I know the Celtics may have a completely different roster next season. I really like the addition of Josh Richardson, and I think he's been really successful down the stretch as well for the Celtics over the course of the season. I know the Celtics haven't had much success down the stretch, but it seems like Richardson always hits a big shot when the Celtics need it the most.
Yeah, I think Richardson's a guy I want around. I think he should be a guy that's considered part of the plan. Obviously, he's not a guy that's going to take you to the championship, but I think he's a piece that fits so well with Tatum and Brown. Ideally, I would love to get Smart and Richardson off the bench together. In the grand scheme of things, if I could put together an ideal Celtics roster, those two guys as quickly just slicing the Celtics defense. But those are two guys I think would be your best scenario for the bench.
Quickly out to a quick start with 11 points. Tatum swings it, corner, Williams, jab step, hands it back to Tatum, gets a screen from Grant. Tatum, crossover, move, step back, 3. Oh, in and out, and rebound by Burks, but Burks fell on the ground with it, and it's out of bounds. It's going to be Celtic ball. Wow. Tatum, huge. And I said this during the stream the other night when we played the Knicks, I believe on Thursday. I am such in a good mindset, like a great state of mind. I'm a very happy person when Jason Tatum is playing good basketball, especially when he's been in sort of this ugly slump so far this season. It was really relieving to see him play good basketball on Thursday as Freedom hits a baseline hook.
Yeah, I think Tatum's play has been kind of the Celtics story. I think he's the perfect example of that. It's been inconsistent, and I don't necessarily. I think recently, the past I'd say month and a half, he's actually played a very great stretch of basketball. But I think that there was almost a big time poster there.
Yeah, by Taj Gibson.
Yeah, I think Tatum's been great as Gibson. Wow, gets it right back on the block there. I think Tatum though recently has really been able to buckle down and play some good basketball. Look at Richardson. Look how engaged he is. I mean, he's really just look as he fights for position down low with Toppin. And look at that. Gets the
and look
steal.
at. And I don't know how the refs didn't see Grant jump into the player, and I don't know how they did see that. Okay, they did see that foul. Wow, refs are really letting these guys get aggressive here, and I like that. Celtics-Knicks, TD Garden on a Saturday night, I love it. But I agree, and also I know the shot really didn't matter because the Celtics ended up losing the game, but just seeing Tatum hit a clutch shot like that was so relieving. Like it was like a breath of fresh air. Like. that we've been waiting so long for that. We've seen so many of those opportunities for Tatum, and they haven't fallen this season as Richardson spots up and hits a three. And Aaron Nesmith checking in the game. Yes, sir. Do I have to get the jersey out? Aaron Nesmith should be getting a standing ovation at the TD Garden as the Knicks take a timeout. Yes. Free Aaron Nesmith.
See now, I have a question for you here now though. Who's he taking? So last game we saw Langford not play. It was coach's decision, did not play. Today, Langford now has yet to check in. Nesmith's checking in. That's something to look at, I think. The jersey is coming out, folks.
Many of you know, I'm a big jersey collector, so I don't normally wear my jerseys, but when Aaron Nesmith is in the game, I have to wear my jersey. How many points do you think he's going to score? Like 15 right off the bat? But this is going to be interesting to see, too, because I do want to, on a serious note, point out that we didn't see Aaron Nesmith or Romeo Langford in that New York game. So Udoka kind of shortening the rotation. We've seen a lot of, as of late, I don't know if you noticed, Rob, but we've seen a short 8 to 9 man rotation from Udoka in the past few games.
Yeah, and I think it's tough to find minutes for both of them. Obviously, with Brown, Tatum, and Richardson, you're kind of controlling those top 3 wing spots. Where are they going to fall in the rotation is a really big question because Richardson's better than both of them. I know a lot of people love Nesmith. I love Nesmith. I think he's got a lot of potential. But that's something you got to look at going down to the season is having Richardson here kind of putting a halt onto a successful future in Aaron Nesmith. Personally speaking, like I said, I'm a big Josh Richardson guy. But I'm happy to see Nesmith here. I think Nesmith's struggle's really just been lack of play. I think when you're a shooter and you're not checking in and playing consistent minutes, it's going to be tough to find your shooting rhythm throughout the season.
Well, he's going to get his opportunity here off the timeout. Celtics down 3, 8 minutes to go on the dot.
And look at that. See that? That's exactly what I like by this play by Schroeder driving. And this is something that I think that I've noticed is Schroeder and Smart should not be on the court at the same time. They should respectfully be running each lineup's offense. When Smart's on the floor, he's running the starter's offense, or when Schroeder's on the floor, he's running the twos offense. I really think it's important for Ime Udoka to implement that. And I think if you want to talk about the Celtics not making any moves and seeing if they can figure this thing out, that's part of figuring it out, is that those two have to be running their respected offenses separately.
Now, something I noticed about this lineup right here is I don't think we've seen this lineup as Brown catches Obi Toppin's 3-point rebound. There's a lot of scoring in this lineup and a lot of defense as Brown lobs it to Rob Williams, who finishes it for 2. There's a lot of two-way players on the court right now for the Celtics. I don't think we've seen a lineup like this as Barrett pulls up from the free throw line, back rims it into the hands of Schroeder. Actually, they're going to call
They got a foul on Brown there, really?
Wow.
Or is that on Richardson or on Brown?
Brown.
Wow. Bad call there, in my opinion, but, what do I know?
Look at the court vision for Brown. We've talked about him and Tatum needing to step up being playmakers. Actually, Tatum had 9 assists against the Knicks on Thursday night. It was one of his better playmaking games of his career, I should say.
Yeah, I think Tatum's slowly but surely stepping into his own as a playmaker. I think over the past month he's done a really good job at, controlling the pace, and I think that's more important than necessary playmaking. Just controlling the pace of the game, making sure that it's everything that you want to happen is happening. And I think that's really important for Jason Tatum. And I think the 9 assists on the road what a bad call there is a good step in the right direction.
I think people really ignore the fact that the Celtics of their inability to hit shots because they look at the stat sheet and they go, Jason Tatum, another 3 assist night, another 2 assist night. Well, that doesn't mean he passed the ball only 3 times. He's passed the ball more than that. And in fact, the other players have missed wide open shots at times. So I think that a lot of people ignore the reality of it, where it also comes down to Tatum and Brown's playmaking also comes down to if the people around them can hit shots.
Yeah, and I think that Tatum's done a solid job recently at taking care of the ball and controlling it down the stretch. I think if you want to look at some guy to start critiquing about that is Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown, as you see, he's struggled down the stretch of games taking care of the ball and being a playmaker. However, I don't think that's really Brown's responsibility. If you ask me, I don't think he should have to play make. I don't think that is something that he needs to do. And hopefully Brad can make some moves so that it's not his responsibility, that he can strictly go out there, play great defense, and get you 25 a night, just like his role on this team should be. And his role should not be to create for others. He needs to get the ball to the guys when they're open, when the defenses are collapsing. And I think he has the ability to do that. But Brown's not a guy that needs to average 7 assists. I just think that's a ridiculous way to think.
It's Brown. Speaking of Brown picked off a pass and got fouled on the break. Now, the NBA is trying to get rid of that rule. They really don't know what to do with the rule, but they really don't like it. Trying to get rid of that foul, I should say.
The fast break foul?
The fast break foul. They're trying to figure out what to do with it as Richardson gets in the lane and banks home a right hook shot. I really don't know how they can really clean that up. One free throw plus the ball seems like a little too much for me. Yeah. I really don't know what to do. And I like that. See right there, Brown forced that pass, and Neesmith closed out his man really well. Wouldn't let him get the ball, and it was a turnover on the Knicks. Good defense there for the Celtics.
Yeah, and I actually really like this lineup. I love that Richardson's kind of able to look at that move right there by Richardson and can't get the two to go, but Neesmith fighting for the rebound. I like this lineup.
I was going to go nuts.
I know, a lot of defense, a lot of speed, a lot of shooting, a lot of athleticism in this 5, and I think you can switch everything. You can play a good brand of basketball. I like this lineup a lot. This is a first year for the Celtics with Neesmith out there too, joining these guys.
5 on the shot clock for Randall. He has Tatum at the top of the key. He takes a 3 and he nails a 3. Stick it to Julius Randle. And he gives the New York Knicks a 3-point lead. Brown fakes the 3, drives in, lobs it up Rob, the Time Lord, and ties the game. I believe it was it must have been a 2-pointer by Randall. Then they must have marked it.
Yeah, and that goes directly back to my point. Jaylen Brown actually can play make when he needs to. I just think it's unfair to say that this guy has to be making plays every single time for the Boston Celtics when he was not brought into the league to be a playmaker.
Rob Williams gets hit with the foul, and I do like that. He says no complaints. He said, yeah, I got the foul, but we see another look.
And that's not
Brown
an easy pass
followed
to
up.
make over not Richardson. I'm sorry, Robinson. Robinson's a 7'2" long guy. That's a great pass there by Brown to get that up to Williams.
Now, to me, at least for me, unless the deal is absolutely blowing your clothes off from head to toe, you're not trading Rob Williams at the deadline.
Not
I don't think you trade him at all, let alone at the deadline.
I think there's a couple players where you could make an exception for. For example, personally speaking, if Philly calls you up and is willing to take a Smart and Robert Williams deal for Simmons, you take that. However, personally speaking, I think I'd take that. However, that's just unrealistic because what are they going to do with Rob Will with Embiid there? But
even though that would be lethal,
that would be lethal. I just don't see a realistic trade that would happen as Nesmith spot up
Nesmith three. Oh, I was gonna go nuts. I was gonna go absolutely nuts.
But I don't think there's a trade you can make that's worth Robert Williams. I think he's a guy that you untouchable unless the deal blows you away, in my opinion.
Grimm's an open three, missed. Rebound by Rob Williams. Tied at 36 here. Celtics are on, I believe, a 15-6 run. The screen had said. How do you not call that Randall? Did you just see Randall holding on to Rob Williams?
I did not.
Brown, the miss on the shot. And ball into the hands of Quickly. Marcus Smart back into the game.
Quickly from
way
Quickly.
Downtown.
No good. Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Look at Tom Thibodeau. Did not like that shot at all. Threw his arms in the air. I don't know why Quickly threw that one up. That was beyond a heat check.
And Smart should take advantage of this matchup right here with Quickly. He's a much bigger. I don't know why he faded away there.
Oh my goodness.
Get your body down onto the block and put your body into Quickly. That's a charge. Call that block. Wow. I'd almost challenge. I mean, maybe not challenge that. Still early on in the game, but look at this.
Smart looks defeated.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Planted his feet. He's outside the circle. That's interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if you know it, but I don't really know the rule for charges. I know there's a legal guarding position, something like that. I don't think I'd be able to really make my judgment on that.
So when it comes to plays like that where it was in the paint, you see that second circle in the paint where it kind of looks like a little 3-point line underneath the bag.
You can't be in that.
So if you're in that, the defensive player is in that. That's an automatic blocking foul. Like if your heel is on,
Yeah, I know that, but
there is certain positioning. I believe. I don't know if it's like a two-step limit. Like you can't be in somebody's airspace. I think you got to take at least 2 steps or 2 dribbles, something like that. I believe. We don't have a analytic guy to check that for us.
We'd have to get Seamus in here. I think that's something Seamus would know. Tie game here. How would you say? What would your thoughts on the Celtics play?
Honestly, the second quarter, the Celtics look a lot more sharp than they did in the first quarter. They came out really flat in the first quarter. I like the aggressiveness from the tip. I really do on both ends. I think the Celtics have been ultra aggressive. But first quarter, the Celtics were really lazy on defense, allowing shooters to get wide open and hit their shots. Second quarter, they've kind of tightened that up a little bit. But there's a lot of game left to be played. I really like that lineup that we just saw with Robert Williams, Aaron Nesmith, Jaylen Brown, Dennis Schroeder, as well as Josh Richardson. I think that was something interesting. A lot of two-way players in that lineup in terms of scoring and as well as playing defense.
So I got a question for you. Is the Al Horford experiment? Is it safe to say that that's a fail?
I don't think it's a fail. I think it's gone by. I don't think it's a fail at all because when he first started off, he was exceeding all expectations in terms of playing. Yeah. I didn't personally think when we picked him up, he was going to come in and start and actually play the way he's been playing. But over the last week or two, there's been a large regression. He's 35 years old. He's been playing like he's 25 years old for the past 2 months. I mean, he really, as much as he's kind of regressed right now, maybe it's safe. I'm sure you can even agree that the first half of the season, Al Horford's played particularly well, but I don't know. I think maybe dealt at the deadline, get rid of his contract, even though he's going into the cheapest year of his contract. Or Seamus had mentioned also, what if the Celtics waive him and then it sign him again for something cheaper? I don't know exactly what's going to happen with Al Horford. I don't know if he might retire. He's talked nothing of retirement at all.
I don't know about you, but I love the idea of Horford as the backup big. But my problem with that is $12 million a year next year for a backup big man. You can go out there and, the Suns got JaVale McGee for, I want to say, a pretty cheap deal as a backup big. And personally speaking, I think Horford's better than a JaVale McGee. But, I think that, that gets the job done, right? You spend $5 million for a JaVale McGee. I think it's a bang for your buck. I think you can find a deal like that for a backup big man and save the money. And I love Horford, but I don't think he's going to do it for me anymore.
Brown off the timeout executed that play very well with an elbow jump shot. Top of the key three missed by Randall and rejected by Rob Williams on the putback, but they're going to call a foul. Boy, Randall can get into the lane with ease, but as far as his jump shooting, that I don't know if that, and I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, but I'm not sure if that's something he needs. He's trying to progress at. I don't know if that's already a part of his game or that's something he's trying to add to his game, but he's been unable to hit his shots.
Yeah, Randall's I don't know how to feel about Julius Randle. I had said it last year. I think the Knicks were fool's gold. I remember talking about that with you in a podcast episode. I didn't think they were legit, and they weren't. But, I think Randle's a great second or third option. I think what he's been able to do in New York is very, very impressive. I just don't think he's the guy to do it in New York.
Here's Brown. Brown wants to get it down to Smart. Smart turns around, puts the ball on the floor, and scores two.
And that's my point. Smart's a big guard. There's not a lot of guards that can, physically keep up with Smart. So, get in the paint and bang them up down low.
Celtics killing the Knicks in the paint. They have a 10-point advantage, a 16-6 advantage in the paint. Randall, a handoff to Barrett. Barrett off the screen, throws it up, misses, rebound by Brown. Celtics want to run. Up ahead to Tatum. Tatum thought about the pull-up three. Instead, kicks it to a cutting Brown. Brown stops, kicks it out. Smart, extra pass, corner. Al Horford fakes it. Brown open in the lane for two. And that might have been the better plays of the season for the Celtics, and it worked out to perfection.
Yeah, and great ball movement there for the Celtics. Nick's going to call a timeout here. Celtics go up 2:27 left in the second quarter. I like what I'm seeing. I think
I got to give it a clap. I got to give that play a clap.
I do think the Celtics offensively are moving the ball around a little bit better. But, the question hasn't been, Justin, is whether they could do this on one-game basis. The question has been if they can do this consistently for 82 games. And I think that the Celtics are going to have to start showing us consistently if we're going to want to think anything of it.
I just want to see a few possessions like that. I don't want to just see one. I want to see the Celtics continue to approach that play. And again, that Udoka after timeout play worked with Jaylen Brown with that jump shot on the elbow. I really do think after timeout plays, at least the past two games, I'm noticing Udoka's really improving on those. But I really want to see the Celtics execute down the stretch. They're up 4 to the Knicks right now. It's going to be one of those games where I don't think it's going to blow open. I think it's going to stay close. I think one team might take a 10 or a 12-point lead, but at the end, I think it's going to come down to the stretch again. Look at that. Ball movement.
That's great. That's a great pass. Good ball movement for the Celtics. Something we've, I don't think that's been a problem necessarily though this season. I don't think the Celtics play bad. They have great ball movement. They move the ball around great, I think, up until the fourth quarter, and then everything goes up in flames. And I think they just kind of play hero and iso ball, and that's really lost them a lot of games this year.
Burks drives, wants to take it back out, and has Horford on the mismatch. Burks to the basket, missed. I don't know if Robert Williams got a piece of that. Instead, Smart comes out with it, and the Celtics are running once again.
Oh, great
Smart
pass.
cutting Brown. Brown fakes it, dishes to Robert Williams, who finishes it for 2.
I love the look by
Again.
Smart there down to Brown.
That after timeout, I don't know. It doesn't mean that Udoka had to draw up a play, but maybe whatever he spoke into the Celtics' minds for their first play to work like that once again speaks volumes. 7 on the shot clock for Randall to work with. A cutting Burks. Burks, nothing going in the lane. Instead, kicks it back out. 3 by Burks, missed. No call. Tibbs wants a call. I thought that was pretty good defense for Tatum there.
Yeah, kicked his legs out. I honestly thought that could have been an offensive foul.
Tatum gets a screen from Williams, kicks it, corner 3, Smart, open, missed. And ball collectively grabbed by Randall and Robinson. Here's Randall. Coming up on a minute to go here in the first half. Randall, follow-away shot in the lane. Got it to go off the rim. And back down to a 4-point game for the Celtics. The Celtics can push this, keep this, 2-possession lead going into the half. That's somewhat comfortable, to go into the half with a little momentum booster, might I add. Here's Brown. Drives the lane to Robert Williams' right, intentions, just bad pass. It sails out of bounds, and New York's going to get a chance for a 2-for-1 here with 47 seconds left. Take a look at the cutting
I
Brown.
think Brown's done Brown has 7 assists. Wait, wow. Jaylen Brown has 7 first half assists.
Randall spots up. He takes a 3 he missed. Back rim. Ball tapped out, picked off by Smart, and that was a 2-for-1 shot. Celtics could have gone 2-for-1. Instead, they hold up on it. About an 8-second difference between the shot and the game clock. No, I believe. Oh, no, 12-second difference. No, is it?
8 seconds. You got it.
8. Okay, I was right. Here's Brown. Gets a screen from Horford. Brown drives, stops in the lane, kicks it out. Tatum, 5 on the shot clock. Tatum, top of the key, takes it over Burks. Missed. Rebound by Barrett. And with 8 seconds left, the Knicks have a chance to cut this down to 1 possession, nearly picked off by Smart. Barrett all the way to the basket. No! And he gets fouled. Oh, my goodness. Tatum threw it across the court. I don't think they're going to call a tech on him, will they?
No, I think he just tried to get the ball up as last shot of the game.
And with 9/10 of a second left, Barrett's going to get to the line. I really like that attack by Barrett. Barrett put his head down. And the Celtics, you can see Smart saying, hey, nobody's at the lane. Nobody's at the basket.
I understand the call there, but I don't think you call that. When you go to the rim, full head of steam amongst the trees, I don't think you call that. Jaylen Brown's had a hell of a first half, mind you.
I think all of the bodies hitting the ground at once kind of factored into that.
Jaylen Brown, 7 first half assists. I mean, when was the last time we've seen Brown get 7 assists in a game? Never mind a first, 1 half of basketball.
So Barrett goes 0 of 2 from the line. Robinson puts it back, and he gets it in. Celtics want to wave it off. Knicks saying it's good. The refs are going to say it's good. They're going to take a look at it. But as of right now, the Celtics are up 2 at the half. They could be changed back down to 4. But 44-42. We're going to take a break here at the half. Join us right back here for the second half coverage. Go over to Celtics Talk Weekly for, I believe, Ian. No, not Ian. Seamus is going to do a little halftime segment either on his page or Celtics Talk Weekly. It's at Celtics Every Day on Instagram if it's on him. But we'll be back here for the second half as well as Celtics Post Game Live. Don't go anywhere. All right. Let's get back into it. We're back here for the second half. I'm Justin Lowe. Alongside with me, I have my co-host Rob. Celtics have themselves a little 2-point lead, 44-42. Where in the second quarter was a lot more different story in the second quarter than it was the first. First was a lot of defensive lapses. Celtics putting their heads down, attacking the basket. Second quarter, a lot of defense. Speaking of defense, Marcus Smart steals the ball from Barrett. Euro step to the basket. Misses the two, though. Robinson gets a rebound. Smart gets it back. Tatum fakes it and brings it back out. Look at that. Marcus Smart. Speaking of defense, starting the half out right. Tatum, step back three over Robinson in the corner is good. You bet. And the Celtics ahead by 5. What a perfect way to start the second half, Rob.
Yeah, I like the aggressive play by Smart. He made the steal on the defensive end, didn't get the layup to go, stuck with it, poked it free again, and got Tatum a little step back three.
Randle passes up the open jumper to take a contested floater, but the contested floater falls. Maybe a better decision there for Randle, even though it was contested. His shot hasn't been falling, so use his body and his size to his advantage and bully his way to the basket. Speaking of bullying to the basket, Brown gets his way to the basket, dips the shoulder down low, and banks one home for 2.
Burks is a guy that I think Brown should be able to take off the dribble more times than not. I like how he's, starting this half off with getting a couple easy ones to the basket there.
And believe it or not, we're in triple-double watch for Jaylen Brown, where he just got his 7th rebound, 7th assist, and 10th point.
Yeah, I believe he doesn't yet to have a career triple-double as Jaylen Brown goes
pretty
again.
Spin move to the basket. Brown the stop, the pop, and the lock. 51-44. They open up a 7-point lead to start the second half, and Coach Thibodeau has seen enough. He takes a timeout, not even 2 minutes in to the second half. Huge start for the Celtics, Rob.
Yeah, great start. I mean, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing, but, I'm going to be a broken record with this. It's not about how you come out of the start of the second half. It's about how you're going to come out and, play for the fourth quarter. I think that's what all Celtics fans are looking for. I think that it's very important for the Celtics to have a very successful fourth quarter. I don't think that it's enough to, I want their best quarter out of the 4 this game to be the fourth. I want them to really show that they are working on it. And if they come, I think tonight and can show us that they can put a successful fourth quarter together. I think that sends a message to everyone like, listen, we're trying. We understand, and I think that's important. I just think that fourth quarter is just a learning curve they got to get around, and it needs to start tonight because they've wasted way too much time.
Now, there's obviously many factors that can go into the Celtics second half struggles, more singling out that fourth quarter. But what do you think? Is it ego problems? Is it inconsistency? Is it a certain player or players? Is it maybe the coach? What do you think factors into the fourth quarter collapses the Celtics seem to have?
I think it's a mix of things. I would point the first finger for the fourth quarter collapses at the coach. I think the game plan, I don't think there's a fourth quarter game plan. And I think there needs to be. In the NBA, no lead's a safe lead. We've seen that this year. Not just with the Celtics, but for any team.
Yeah.
So I do think that there's a different approach to the fourth quarter that Udoka hasn't really seen yet or gotten a grasp or grip on. And I think that needs to change. I also think that, you got to hold the players accountable, that they're the ones playing. I also think the players need to, get together, how, their game plan and how they respond to a run. I think that needs to be worked on. I think it will. I think it'll come together slowly this season. I'm not, like I said, I have no expectations for this team. But, I do think it starts with Udoka, and I think if it doesn't get better, you got to think, the players seem to be engaged. It's just the fact that, the coach draws stuff up, and the players can only do so much. If there's not a proper scheme put into place, you're leaving the players on an island out there.
Coming out of the timeout, the Celtics forced the Knicks to call one just not even 2 minutes into the second half, where they've opened up a 7-point lead, which unfortunately no lead is comfortable for the Celtics, but in such a close game. A 7-point pad is good enough. Barrett, a 3, missed on the wing. Ball tapped around into the hands of Tatum. It goes, and Tatum wants to push the ball. I don't blame him. You're not going to win games walking the ball up the court. Tatum has Quickly backing him down on the baseline. Quickly, a couple jabs, steals, turns around, passes it out to Brown. Extra pass to Smart. Smart drains the top of the key 3, and again with the ball movement, and the Celtics open up their first double-digit lead of the game, 54-44.
And yet another assist for Jaylen Brown, number 8 on the game. The triple-double watch is getting more and more real as we go get closer to the fourth quarter here.
Randall taking a couple jab steps at Horford, then puts his back into him. 6 seconds on the shot clock, hands it to Quickly. Quickly takes a step in the three-point line and drains a mid-range jump shot. Yeah,
Quickly is a guy that he's one of those Kentucky guards. I mean, they've put out some great guards between De'Aaron Fox and his friend Tyrese Maxey over in Philly. Those Kentucky guards are legit. Devin Booker's one of them, a product of that. And Rajon Rondo is even a product of those Kentucky guards.
Barrett. Dribble handoff to, it looked like, was that Randall? Yes, it was, and he gets it rejected out of bounds by Horford. So Knicks will retain possession under their basket with 10 seconds on the shot clock here as Coach Thibodeau looks on, and the Celtics have come out this second half on all cylinders. Extending their lead out to 10, back down to 8, but Barrett, a follow-away shot on the baseline off the inbound, airballs it into the hands of Smart, up ahead Tatum. Tatum on the fast break has Randall there to contest, but Tatum gets the last laugh and gets the 2.
Is that another Jaylen Brown assist?
Quickly. Oh, Smart gets drilled by a Randall screen. Quickly ran right.
Assist.
Yeah.
My fault. Oh, get that out!
Robert Williams. Oh, my
Wow.
goodness. Robert Williams with the block on Randall. Tatum is wide open. Instead, Horford kicks it down low to Rob Williams, and Rob Williams gets the 2. Oh, my goodness. Time Lord. Getting it done on both ends. Got the Celtics bench off their feet. And the Celtics open up the half on an 11-2 run, and it's a 12-point game. Emmanuel Quickly on the wing. Back to Randall, back to Quickly. Quickly, a couple dribbles inside. Loses his dribble. And Randall drives. Follow-away shot is fouled. The Celtics have built up a 12-point lead. Now, I said earlier that this game, I feel like it's going to stay close until, as we take another look at that time, my goodness, Time Lord. This game is going to stay close right up until the final few plays. And I'd mentioned each team might take a 10 to a 12-point lead, and we've seen it from both sides here. The Knicks had a 10-point lead earlier. Now the Celtics have 12. Let's see how the Knicks respond. Burks drives. Off the glass, no rebound. Time Lord into the hands of Brown. Brown wants to run, keep it going for the Celtics. Brown, guarded by Burks. Wants a screen from Horford. Horford sets a right-handed screen. Brown, bounce pass, kicks it back out. Horford to Tatum. Tatum dribbles into the basket. Finish, no. Rob Williams, the tip, no. And Randall comes out with it.
Yeah, and, 12-point lead isn't safe in the NBA, but for the Celtics, sake, I'd love to see them keep this lead. They've been blowing leads all year, so let's see if they can, get a grip on this one, really ride this one out till the end, keep it right around, don't let it get inside 8 points here for the rest of the game.
Barrett, a 3 spot up. Oh, that is dreadful. Is a huge step in from Barrett is good. Cuts the lead down to 9. Shot clock was running out, so Barrett had to put that one up anyway, and he drained it. Big time shot for RJ Barrett. Brown comes off an off-ball screen from Horford. Horford, corner 3. Got it. You bet. Now that play we've seen on many times for the Celtics. It's been very successful, leading to a lot of Al-Hur corner 3s. Whether they fall or not, that's on Horford, but great play there from the Celtics. Here's Quickly. Smart, I love that. Smart, gets caught in the screen, stays quickly, pokes the ball loose, Burks.
Oh!
Brown and Brown, all on Brown, and I'm surprised they called that.
Yeah.
Out of all that harassment by Marcus Smart, I think Smart foul Quickly, but out of all of that caution, they call a little foul on Brown, and Brown's saying, come on, you can't call that. So reset of on the shot clock had the Knicks down to 2. Tyler nearly got the steal on inbound. So here we go to work with here for the Knicks. Barrett, Robinson screen, pulls up at the free throw line and banks home line jumper, count it, and the foul. RJ Barrett.
Yeah, tough shot there. Rob Will kind of stepped up a little late, let Barrett get to the spot, hit him on the elbow. Tough shot by Barrett there.
We've seen Barrett hit some difference, obviously. That game winner, fall away over Tatum. I want to say it was nearly 30 feet out, but he missed a free throw.
Knicks
From the free throw line.
Yeah. The whole Knicks team, Knicks as a whole, struggling from the line. 3 for 11.
Celtics have only taken 11 free throws as well. So only 22 free throws for the course of this game so far. You're smart. Driving up quickly, loses it, gets it back for Richardson, fakes it, takes it, takes a mid-range. Oh my goodness, he got shoved from behind, and he's gonna get 2 free throws.
I'd look at that for a flagrant. I mean,
yeah, he really got shoved.
Yeah.
That looked like almost like a little frustration foul that Randall got caught on. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, he blatantly shoved him. I mean, it's not like he was going for the ball. They're not even gonna review it.
Yeah.
Richard, 4 or 5 from the line tonight, make that 5 of 6, and he has 10 points, and it gives Boston an 11-point lead. Now, like I said, let's see how the Celtics lose this. I know it's only 11, and it could be a dozen, and that's nothing in the NBA. It's nothing, especially to the Celtics who blow leads like nothing. But let's see if the Celtics can build us. Instead of give up, let's see if they can build. Here's Randall. Back to Barrett, tipped by Smart, back into the hands of Randall. Gets a left screen from Robinson. Robinson drives. Randall gets freed up. 6 in the quickly. Jab step, drives on Brown.
Oh, what a
puts it up. Robert Williams, a block. Goodness.
Oh.
And Horford throws it out of bounds. Robert Williams, but oh my goodness. Time Lord owning the state of New York. Did it against the Nets in the playoffs. He's doing it against the Knicks here in the regular season. Knicks wanted a goaltend. Oh my goodness, Horford. See, now the problem I have, Burks, misses a 3. It actually goes out of bounds. The problem I have with that is Al Horford has that ability to push it up the floor. Why not take that? Why not take it up the court? He has the ability. We've seen him take it to the coast to coast.
Well, I like the aggressiveness. My problem with that is that he, pushed it to half court and then put himself in a tough situation, try to dump it off. Either, commit and go the distance, or get it off early and find the guard and let him set up the offense.
Brown, kicking corner. Richardson driving to the basket for 2.
And
yes,
1.
Josh Richardson and the foul. Oh my goodness, Josh Richardson. I have the volume off in my headphones, so I can't hear the TV.
Yeah, Richardson letting him hear it too. The Knicks bench, he very vocal after that and 1. Great call there.
Do you have volume on in your ear?
No, I don't.
No.
I have that off.
So Richardson's going to get a free throw, and as we said, see if the Celtics can build off of this and hold. It's out to 14 right now. I love the way the Celtics came tonight. I mean, obviously the Knicks took an early lead, but since it's been all Boston.
I love the use of Josh Richardson. I'm going to keep saying it. I mean, I can't remember the last time the Celtics have had I think Marcus Morris was the last time the Celtics have had a scorer off the bench like the talent-wise of Josh Richardson, as was that, I believe, quickly top of the key jumper there. I mean, he offensively can get it done at a very successful and high rate. And I think the Celtics need to use him a little more. And that's one of the reasons, is Richardson's going to pull a 3 from the corner is no good. I think that's one of the reasons that's a lot really has been frustrating about this season, is that the talent's there. So we think it's just you got to put it all together.
Horford the rebound on the miss. Smart. Down low to Brown. Brown checks it back out to Horford. Cross-court pass to Smart. Smart back 7 on the shot clock. Brown corner. Forces up a 3, and he missed. And immediately on the drive. Knicks slowing it down. They're up 13. They're down 13. It's rips it from Randall, and his foul on the sideline. Marcus Smart came out of the half, got 2 steals in the third of the quarter. They hit him right from Julius Randle.
Yeah, Smart and Richardson is not a fun backcourt to be matching up against if you're the Knicks here. So Smart and Richardson really putting the pressure on, and I love what I'm seeing on the defensive end here through the third quarter. Celtics holding the Knicks to only Robert Williams up top.
Rob Williams, oh my goodness, Lord.
Celtics holding the Knicks here to 11 third quarter points. Celtics really putting the pedal to the metal here, but like I said, we've seen this one too many times. The Celtics entering the fourth quarter should have a nice little lead here. Let's see if they can keep it.
Brown wants to go like rims, kicks it to Time Lord. Corner pass, Grant Williams fakes it, drives baseline. Smart in the corner, drives on quickly in the lane, can't get it to go, rims out. Here's Randall. Trying to hand it off to Quickly. Smart is all over him defensively. Quickly gets the switch on Grant Williams, and he wants to screen from Gibson. Brown comes up with Gibson and switches back on to Quickly. Quickly trying to use the screen. Goes right, kicks it. Randall 3, no offensive rebound by Gibson. Back out to Quickly and a fresh set of 14 here for the Knicks. Barrett on the drive. To the basket, no. Rebound, Richardson, no. Brown gets it, though, and the Celtics are running. Here we go. They have numbers. Smart, pull up 3. Got it. Marcus Smart for 3. 71-53 Celtics, their largest lead of the night. It's 18.
Celtics playing a physical brand of basketball, and the Knicks are not liking it at all. Celtics getting out and running up 18 as we go into a timeout. How are we feeling about that? Great third quarter for us, Justin. What do you think?
Wow. Great second quarter. I thought first quarter, the Celtics slipped away from it a little bit. Kind of looked like, oh, no, hopefully it's not one of these nights. But second quarter, I thought, was one of their better quarters I've seen from the Celtics in a while. But it might be top tier with this third quarter because the Celtics coming out on both ends, very active. I love what I'm seeing from the Celtics on both ends.
Yeah, and I want to stress it again. Celtics, this is a game where you sit here, third quarter, you think this might be one of the best quarters of basketball they've ever played. So how are they, this season, how are they going to follow it up? We've seen it one too many times. We've said that. And they come in the fourth quarter, and they just let the lead dwindle down, and eventually they drop the game. So, Celtics, great. You're having a great, fantastic game. A lot of positives to take out and go into practice tomorrow. Let's finish and close this out. You're up 18. The Knicks should not get this game under 10 points.
Now, was there a timeout or is it the end of the quarter?
It was a timeout.
So there's still a lot of time left in this game. I really think, we needed this type of game from the Celtics. You don't let them come in and beat you on your home court after what they did to you on Thursday. You were absolutely destroying them for three quarters of basketball, and then they come back, and their only lead of the game is when they got the game-winning shot. That totally deflates you, and it's all about how you respond. Thus far, the Celtics are responding to, I wouldn't say perfection, but they're responding very well. But we still have quarter and change left to go, and Celtics, known for their fourth quarter collapses. We saw it against the Knicks on Thursday. Could we see it again? Hopefully not.
It's just such a shame. I'm looking at the schedule here. The Celtics really had an opportunity to climb the standings. I mean, you look at their opponents: San Antonio, Knicks twice, Pacers twice, and even still, like I said, there's still time to turn this train around and push. Maybe the 3 seeds out of the picture, sure, but you can make a real push for the 5 or the 4 seed and potentially, get a solid seed in the playoffs. Mind you, like I said, no expectations right now. The Celtics just got to figure out how to put a one whole game together. But, you got to start somewhere, and it's looking all right for the Celtics.
And I just want to mention, as we're back here, Jaylen Brown is 1 rebound away from his first career triple-double as Grims hits a 3 in the corner to come off of that timeout.
We're not even in the fourth quarter yet.
No.
Very impressive 3 quarters.
11 assists Jaylen Brown has. So that has to be – he had has what, 4 so far here in the third?
Yeah. 4. Yeah, finished with 7.
Smart throwing it up. Freedom is checked into the games. Freedom back to Smart. Smart behind the back pass out to Richardson. Richardson takes a mid-range shot. It does not fall. Here's Barrett. Barrett gets a screen by Taj Gibson. Gives it up to Randall, who hands it off to Quickly. 13 on the shot clock for the Knicks to work with. Quickly wants to go at Grant. Quickly gets a screen from Gibson, goes left, comes back down, and hits a mid-range shot. And the Knicks off the timeout, quick little 4-0 run.
Yeah, and this is what we're going to talk about here. Knicks are not out of this game by any means. Celtics have to complete a full game plan here in the second half.
Tatum to Smart. Smart back to Tatum. Tatum, 7 seconds, wants to back down on Quickly. Takes a fall-away shot and misses, and he is fouled.
Now, I like the idea by Tatum to draw the foul, but you're not going to get that call every single time down the court. Knicks, going on a run. Is that the best ideal shot with a smaller guard quickly on you? Do you like that shot by Tatum or no?
I think shot clock was winding down, so I don't hate it, but I agree. I think there's many times in this game where Tatum has the ability to get to the basket rather than opt for that jump shot, that fall-away shot, more importantly. But I like to. It's good to see Tatum get to the free throw line and see a couple shots drop from there. That's when shooters start to get hot. I mean, Tatum leading scorer, 15 points. Hasn't had a terrible night, but I'd like to see him get aggressive as well, like you said.
Yeah, for sure. It goes to show, like, Celtics went up by 18 here by playing a certain brand of basketball. Let's not change that brand you're playing.
Correct.
There's been no isolation basketball as Udoka's going to take a timeout.
Whoa, Udoka walked into the middle of the court. Tatum almost ran into him.
There's been no isolation play really at all this whole entire game. So let's not change that up. Keep up the movement, the spacing, the quick passes. We have yet to see Schroeder here in the entire third quarter. But a solid third quarter, but Celtics got to keep it up. Do not take your foot off the gas pedal.
And they cut it down to 13. And I like this timeout from Udoka because, yes, there's only 40 seconds left in the quarter, but, hey, finish it strong. Finish the quarter how you started the quarter. Finish it strong. Gain a little bit more momentum going here into the fourth quarter. You don't want to let the Knicks spark a little run. Even if it's a little 4-0 run, 6-0 run, 8-0 run, you don't want that to happen into the fourth quarter. So that's going to be big time.
And if you take a look at the schedule ahead for the Celtics, they got the Pacers twice, once at home, another little mini series, once on at home, once on the road. They have a little mini 2-game road trip. They got the Sixers following that Pacers game on Wednesday. They play the Sixers on Friday, and then they head back home for a back-to-back against the Bulls for a 4-game homestand. So, Justin, there's an opportunity here for the Celtics to just maybe get back to 500 ball. And I think, like I said, my expectations are very low for the season now. I got going into a very open mind. But, that this might be a bridge year. But, there's an opportunity here. The door hasn't completely closed on the Celtics. It's just whether or not they're willing to shove their way and open that door back wide open and give them a chance.
And there's still a lot of time left in this season. I'm not saying the Celtics got to go in here and contend for a championship. As Smart throws up a 3, he misses. That was a 2-for-1 shot there. Celtics should get the ball back for the final possession. But get back to over 500 ball. That's what I want to do. I want to get back, even if it's 1 or 2 wins over. Yeah. Get back to over 500. I can't stress it enough. I think even if you don't make any noise in this season, in the playoffs, you got to finish the season over 500. You can't go under 500. You can't finish at 500. You got to at least get a few games over 500.
Brown
got it. Oh,
wow.
Jaylen Brown, big time. As he blows a kiss into the air.
So I got a question. So Celtics right now, like we said, played a great 3 quarters. A big fourth quarter, a big test here. Say the Celtics come down and they play some complete 48-minute games. Now, if the Celtics fix the fourth quarter, does that fix their problem? Because I would say it does. Because I don't think we've put bad games together. I just think it's been bad quarters.
I don't know if it fixes the problem because the Celtics have been really, really inconsistent this year. I could say it's a building block. I could say it's definitely a step in the right direction, but I wouldn't say it fixes the problem. I feel like I need to see it happen more times. I also don't want to see the Celtics. I want to see the Celtics stop getting in these positions where if you're either blowing a big lead or you're coming back from a big lead, and we've seen it happen many times. We saw it in that Dallas game where they lost at the buzzer, where the Celtics played a horrid first 3 quarters of basketball, and then they come out and they play the last 5 minutes. The Celtics can't afford to do that. Yeah, Ian shows the game on TikTok because I don't think you can show the game for copyright reasons, but he gets away with it, and we're not going to do that. But he does what he does. We tried that once on the post-game show, and didn't go in our favor, so let him do him, and we'll do us. Fourth quarter. Come on, Celts. Finish this one out. I think that was one of the better quarters I've seen.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, you look at the Knicks game. It's a shame because look at the Bulls game, the Knicks game. I mean, what's another game we've blown a lead against? The Bucks game on the road. You look at those games and you say the Celtics played a phenomenal 3 quarters of basketball. I mean, they have shown us this year that they're actually a really, really good basketball team. They've shown us that. It's just there's something about the fourth quarter that they just can't execute down the stretches. As the fourth quarter starting, Udoka's going with Schroeder at the 1, Richardson at the 2, Tatum, Williams, and Cantor. Or sorry, I'm still getting used to it. Freedom to round off the 5. An interesting lineup here. We haven't seen this one. I don't believe this tonight.
Richardson fall away at the free throw line, missed, and here come the Knicks. Emmanuel quickly, Alec Burks, Taj Gibson, Obi Toppin, and Grimm's in for the Knicks to start out the quarter. And as Rob just mentioned, Schroeder, Williams, Freedom, Tatum, and Richardson for the Celtics. Celtics with a 16-point lead. Toppin hands it back to Burks. Burks 4 on the shot clock. Toppin has to take it, and he traveled with it.
Jaylen Brown, 16 points, 7 for 11. Very efficient shooting night. Look at that. And look at the shot chart. 2 corner threes, no good. 1 top of the key 3 wasn't good. Everything else, though, has been inside the paint. I love to see that a game where Jaylen Brown's attacking the paint hard. Tatum going to go iso ball here. Tatum spins, double team coming. Tatum over to Williams. Grant's going to have to chuck it up. Grant, no good. Send up a prayer there. Look at Richardson, though. Throws it off Taj. The Celtics ball. That just, and I can't stress it enough. I just love everything Josh Richardson brings to the table, especially these home games. You've noticed, I think he's played phenomenal at home this season.
Tatum on the baseline, cross-court pass to Grant, who kicks it to Schroeder. Schroeder the fake on the 3, gets it to Richardson. Richardson, top of the key 3 is good.
It.
Oh, big-time shot from Josh Richardson. And the Celtics extend their lead out to their largest. It's a 19-point lead with 10.5 to go. A 24-6 bench point advantage for the Celtics.
Yeah,
Here's Grimes.
These next 5 minutes or so are going to be a really big sign, a telltale sign on how this fourth quarter is going to go.
Tatum, pull up 3.
Got
it! Jason Tatum, pull up 3, and the Celtics go up 22, and JT is smiling as he should. 82-60, 19 for Tatum. Here's Quickly. Wants to do work on Schroeder. And see what the Knicks right now are doing. That can't happen. Gibson's going to have to take a free throw line jumper with the shot clock winding down. It misses. Rebound by Freedom. Kicks it to Schroeder. And here come the Celtics. Into the hands of Tatum. Tatum gets a screen from Freedom. Ball poked away. He regains possession. Tatum, screen by Freedom once again. Top of the key. Ball poked away once again. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Tatum to Schroeder. Schroeder, 4, 3. Tatum, top of the key, deep three. Oh, missed off the side of the rim.
No.
Josh Richardson. Oh, my goodness. Richardson can't believe the missed call, and they can't review it. Richardson says, no way. And I don't think the Celtics can review that.
Yeah, that was a bad call. Celtics up 22 here, though. It's just go down and get a stop. It's not a call that's going to affect the game too much. I'm surprised Richardson didn't get teed up there. I mean, he let the ref hear it.
He did. Here's Rims working.
Oh,
Obi
good
Toppin
block by Grant.
Oh, rejected by Grant. But the ball goes out of bounds. I believe it hit Freedom last. Freedom was standing right there. Huge block by Grant Williams. Oh, my goodness. Stuffed. Here's Burks. Inbound under the basket to Barrett. Barrett for 2. I like that play a lot. That's a textbook play. And it's a 20-point lead for the Celtics. Still 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Still some time, though, for the Knicks to make a run, but Celtics seem to have a lot of momentum. Speaking of momentum, it's Schroeder to the basket. He dribbles it back out, takes a mid-range shot, misses, rebound by Toppin.
That's the shot I'm talking about. An early, quick shot into the shot clock. Celtics up 20. That's not, use all 24, move the ball around. Why give the Knicks the time? It just makes no sense to me.
Here's Tatum. Tatum to the basket, leaves it for Freedom. Freedom extra pass to Grant. Grant corner 3, missed. I really like that extra pass by Freedom.
Yeah, a weak pass found Grant. There's no call there. Wow.
Oh, wow. I think
Grant got away with one.
Oh, they did get away with one. I think they're going to credit Grant with the block. Schroeder on the drive. Grant Williams, corner to Richardson. Back to Schroeder. Schroeder. Back to Richardson, back to Schroeder. Playing hot potato. Schroeder drives. Free throw line shot missed. Elbow shot, rather, missed. Couple of missed shots by, a couple of missed shots by Schroeder. And then Schroeder gives a foul. Jaylen Brown looking to check in. If I'm Udoka, I might be taking out Schroeder here.
Now, you think Stevens moves Dennis? What is he looking to get in exchange for him, you think?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, are we looking for a young guy that could, maybe you go to a team like Indiana or not Indiana, they might eat his contract and maybe you give him a couple picks and they might throw something, at us, maybe like a Karis LeVert or something like that. You maybe work something out there. Or do you think you go a little bit smaller and you try to go to a team like the Sixers or like the Nuggets, who are kind of the team that's just kind of a piece away, and try to get some, picks and maybe a missing piece, as Richardson covering his eyes right there.
Telling the refs he's blind. I think I really want to see this. Oh boy, what was the call there? Maybe dipped his shoulder into the shooter. I want to see the Celtics and Brad Stevens create as much money room as possible to prepare themselves for a big offseason. I know that doesn't guarantee us to sign somebody big or to get a lot of bench pieces, but I think at the deadline you have to look to move guys like Schroeder, maybe even an Al Horford, Juancho Hernangomez. Maybe even if the deal is right, you look and you see what you can get for one of your young guys like a Pritchard or a Neesmith or a Langford. I think, like I said, I think everybody besides Brown, Tatum, and Robert Williams at this deadline is on the table. I think even you take looks at what you can get for Grant Williams or Marcus Smart. I don't think that's highly likely, but I think it's definitely the Celtics are going to take phone calls for and see what teams have prepared for them.
Yeah, and I think that it's going to kind of depend on how this next month goes. If the Celtics come out and they show that they're on the right track and maybe they're a couple games over 500 as Brown knocks down a big time three, extends the Celtics lead back to 20, as he's tripped on something. I think if the Celtics can prove that maybe they're going to get back on track. I'm not saying they are or they won't, but if that's the case, you might think Stevens might say, I'm in no rush. Listen, maybe move Schroeder because you don't want to lose him for nothing.
Yeah.
But,
Speaking of Schroeder, look at
hustling.
Schroeder! Oh, what are you doing? Oh, no. There's still 4 seconds on the shot clock, though.
So you might make a small move, or say the Celtics come out this next month and continue to drop games and kind of sit up the 11th, 10 seed still. You might think that's when you really want to make a move, or maybe they're showing that, hey, this is the squad. Let's just roll it out, and maybe they did figure it out. It just took them a little bit longer than normal. You really don't know what the Celtics team's going to do right now.
We're going to talk about that on the podcast tomorrow. I think we have a lot to talk about on the podcast for tomorrow, and you guys will be able to watch it or hear it or whatever you guys like to do with the podcast on Monday. But there's a lot to touch on besides wins and losses for the Celtics. So there's a lot.
We're finally getting a podcast out. How about that, right? I mean, what's been a month and a half? I think we've been
nearly 2 months. It's been 2 months today. 2 months today. Celtics are killing my fantasy team right now. Like, absolutely killing it.
Oh, I got Jaylen Brown. The triple-double is going to be doing me nice if he gets it.
57 points. Jaylen Brown has got me. Grant Williams has got me 15. Robert Williams has gotten me 36. Bobby Portis has got me 37. I have a 149-54 lead right now. Today, I have a 645-573.
Jaylen Brown's got me 74. Robert Williams got me 42.
How has he gotten you 74?
We probably work off a different point system.
Are you on? What one are you on?
I do ESPN.
Yeah, I do ESPN as well.
I think we do like customized, like our settings are different though.
Oh, okay. All right, good. You want to hear my team?
Give it to me. Let me hear it.
Listen, the reason I picked this player was because he gets a lot of triple doubles.
I bet I can guess your team. Smart, Schroeder, Richardson, Tatum, Brown.
No. It's Westbrook, Brown. This is my starting lineup. I usually go with Westbrook, Brown, Harrison Barnes, Robert Williams, Bobby Portis. Then I have Montrezl Harrell, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Huerter, Luke Kennard, Grant Williams, Eric Bledsoe. And then for my reserves, I have Dwayne Dedmon, Isaiah Thomas. Dwayne Dedmon and Isaiah Thomas. I am 9-2 currently. I could be 10-2 if I win this week. As we get back to the game. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Fall-away shot is missed. Rebound by Robert Williams, but they call a 24-second shot clock violation. I really wish they gave the rebound to Robert Williams. So 85-65, Celtics hold a 20-point lead here, halfway to go, just about halfway to go in this fourth quarter. Here's Schroeder, hands it off to Brown. Brown working on Burke, spins in the lane, kicks it to Robert Williams, but picked off by Barrett. Here's Barrett, he's running. And he pulls it back out, who kicks it to Burks, the trailer. Burks wants a screen, he goes left of it, gives it to Barrett. Barrett airballs a 3, rebound by Brown. And the Celtics, I really think, it looks like they're going to slow things down here, try to create some separation on the clock. Brown, a first career triple-double, 13 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds. Here's Grant Williams off an off-ball screen. 3 is good. Grant Williams. 88-65, Celtics with a 23-point lead. Grims to Randall. Randall has Richardson in a switch. Kicks it back out to Burks, to Grimes. Kicks it, Barrett, baseline drive, spins in the lane, puts it up, fadeaway shot, missed, put back in by Julius Randle. Boy, I don't think Udoka's going to, if he's going to put in his bench, like deep in the bench, I don't think he goes deep in his bag until like 2 minutes left. I'd be very
surprised if he saw that.
I think he secures this win. Still 5 minutes left. Brown, turn-away shot, missed. Some ugly misses for each of the two teams here the last couple
Knicks
possessions.
sitting at 67 points with 5 minutes left in the fourth. Talk about a defensive outing for the Celtics.
Yeah, credit the Celtics defense a lot. I think the Knicks, they haven't been able to hit some open shots, but a lot of great defensive plays as Dennis Schroeder blows by two defenders and gets two at the basket, 90-69.
I think the offenses looked generally solid. Wow, I don't know what you think in this fourth quarter. I think, there hasn't been a lot of isolation ball. There's been a little, but nothing that's I don't think killing us.
Grimm's a missed three, and Randall had the rebound, but poked away, or slapped away, I should say, by Schroeder, and it gives Celtics a possession here. Schroeder gets a screen from Robert Williams, attacks Robinson in the lane, floater, good. And Schroeder starting to hit shots when it matters most. Celtics have a 23-point lead. The Knicks take a timeout with 4:21 left to go. Celtics running away with it. Oh, yes! Celtics finally holding a lead! I know there's still 4 minutes left, but oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can the Celtics actually hold the double-digit lead? Find out in the final 4 minutes. Do you think the Celtics hold away with this one? I'm not getting cocky. We can't get cocky, but do you think the Celtics have this one?
I think they got it. Still some time to play with. Celtics, got a comfortable lead up, 92-69. Nice, but the Celtics, they just got to keep their foot on the gas pedal, close the door on the Knicks, and the odds. The Knicks, they scored 27 points in the whole, second half. So the odds they get 23 on us in 4 minutes is pretty small. But just let's not find out if it's possible. Let's just finish this game off. And yes. I did have Celtics money line tonight, so I'm cashing out.
Oh my gosh!
If it hits,
are you gonna mention that in the post game show?
I might have to now. Now they finally won. I took the at halftime. I took the live odds, and it's paying out.
All right. Final 4 minutes and change to go. The Celtics have a 23-point lead, 92-69. Let's see if they can close out this win. Seen a triple-double from Jaylen Brown. It is his first career triple-double, career high in assists. He has 11 so far with still 4 minutes and change to play. If I was Udoka, as tempting as it sounds to play a couple G League guys at the end of your bench, I think you gotta just stick to what you got and remember that you're not always the best. You play with playing with leads, especially late in games. So we'll see what the Celtics do here. Burks, 4 on the clock, drives, reverse layup, no, but put back slam by Robinson is good. 92-71. Schroeder throws the ball away, picked off by Barrett, and is fouled by Grant Williams. Not a smart play by Dennis Schroeder whatsoever.
No, not at all. And that goes back to my point. Listen, so it's got a nice little lead here. Don't ruin a great game's worth of a film with a bad last 4 minutes. The guy behind Mike.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't gonna say anything. Grant guarding Randall. Randall top of the key, 14 on the shot clock, hands it off to Barrett. Barrett goes at Grant Williams. In the post, 6-5, bodies his way in, breaks it back out, 3-2, has to put it up. He does, fall away on the baseline, misses, but once again, it's Robinson on the putback. And the Knicks have this down to 19 with still 3:15 to go. Schroeder to Brown. Brown fakes the three, gets his defender off his feet and takes it to the basket, is rejected. Rob Williams is there, kicks it out. Richardson kicks it to Schroeder. Schroeder, 3, no. Rebound, Brown, saved by Brown, actually. And stolen by Grant Williams. No, they're going to call a foul. Oh, my goodness.
That's a bad call there.
Boy, for a blowout, there's been some questionable calls here in the second half.
Yeah, for sure.
They let these guys absolutely bully each other in the first half, and now it seems like they're calling every little contact.
Ooh, they called that on Grant, really? I don't know who number 2 is on the Knicks.
I can find out.
I don't think I've ever. He might be a 10-day hardship player.
I want to say it's
McBride. It looks like.
Yeah, it is McBride. Yep. Randall gets 2, and the Celtics now it's down to 17, and yeah, there's 2.5 left. But again, you don't want to give the Knicks any sort of momentum here. Don't want to have a scare.
Any non-Celtics fan would be watching this and say this game's over. But like we said, you got to put a successful 48 minutes together of basketball to kind of go out of this game happiest. Brown gets an and one.
Big and one for Jaylen Brown.
Cool, calm, and collected there.
It looked Grant pounding Jaylen Brown's chest. It looks like he gave him a quick fake one. Like, can I do this? Look at Brown collecting his body, just staying aggressive, and finishes at home. And has a chance to put the Celtics up 20 with 2 minutes left to go. Brown, the free throw is good, and he completes the 3-point play. Celtics by 20, 95-75. 21, 11, and 11 for Jaylen Brown. Here's Barrett on the drive, throwing it up for Robinson. Robinson catches it, but it's picked off by Robert Williams. Here's Brown, has Richardson with him. Brown puts it behind his back and back out to Robert Williams. I want Rob Williams to shoot a 3. Rob Williams, gets it done! Robert Williams, the Time Lord, throwing it down. I just want to see Robert Williams shoot a 3.
And in comes Neesmith and Fernando and Hauser. The bench is up and the clear. The Celtics are going to walk out of here with a nice win, Justin.
It's funny to see Romeo Langford about to play in garbage time, because usually he's been starting for the Celtics, and as Jaylen Brown steps off the court with his first career triple-double, first of potentially many for him. Yeah, it looks like Thibodeau is going to put his bench in as well, and both teams throwing in the white flag. Minute 30 left. Oh, is there going to be a technical foul? What's up with this?
I believe the Celtics checked out their players before they were supposed to. Delay a game.
So 97-75. Celtics are going to go with a full 5-man subgroup. It's Sam Hauser, Romeo Langford, Aaron Neesmith, Bruno Fernando, as well as Juancho Hernan-Gomez. All 5 guys who are on the trading block. Here's Neesmith guarding the inbounds pass. McBride drives on Fernando, misses. Rebound by Aaron Neesmith. Neesmith to Hernan-Gomez. To Fernando. Fernando looking to do something. Goes in. Loses his dribble, and ball tapped out of bounds. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Stick around, guys. Celtics post-game live. coming shortly after the final buzzer. And Celtics are going to pull this one out. Langford on the drive, off the glass for 2. Yeah, it's so weird to see Romeo in with this group. No disrespect at all to this group, but it's just that we've seen Romeo start games this year, and he's in running with the bench. Hauser, Fernando. Bounce pass to Hernangomez. Hernangomez gets it back in the lane, off the glass, no good. Is that Kevin Knox?
That is Kevin Knox.
Grimes fall away, no, and that goes out of bounds, and the shot clock is turned off, and the Celtics should just dribble this one out. And it looks like they will. So 99-75, the Celtics come back here and take one from the New York Knicks. Celtics get a much-needed victory, snapping a 2-game losing streak after blowing a 25-point lead on the New York Knicks. In Game 1, they come out and they win by 24. Big-time win for the Boston Celtics. I'm Justin Lowe. Thank you guys so much for joining me. That's my co-host, Rob. He will be hosting Celtics Postgame Live just shortly. Stick around on our YouTube channel. Big win for the Celtics. Obviously, Jaylen Brown, player spotlight. I'm sure you guys will talk about that on the postgame show. But that's all we have for you tonight. Celtics take the win 99-75. I'm Justin Lowe. That's Rob Haytain. Catch you guys in the postgame show.